Very good. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for this time. You are a legend. For me, it's a real honor to talk to you.
Thank you.
Well, 3 years ago, you came back to WWE at the Royal Rumble. Will we see you in this match again this year?
Oh, of course, and not only me, but with the news that now my son will be part of this, so both of us will be in there, hopefully, and who knows what will happen.
You have already won a Royal Rumble match in 2006. How does a wrestler prepare for this kind of match?
This type of match is very, very hard to prepare. There's really no way, because first, you don't know who the other 29 opponents are going to be. You can prep yourself for 25 of them, and 4 might be surprises that they haven't been in the ring in quite some time. And you might get thrown out by one of those 4 or 2, so it's really hard to prepare. I think the only thing you can do is conditioning, and just try to step in the ring with different types of styles, so you can kind of figure out what you can do and what you can't do. But overall, I think the only thing you can do is conditioning.
You, Eddie Guerrero, and the other wrestlers of that era, you were protagonists of the second great television success of wrestling in Italy. How much do you think wrestling has changed over the past 20 years?
Oh my God, tremendously. Tremendously. Sometimes I wish Eddie was still here so he can see what we were all a part of, because this started to change right around the mid 90s. And for fans to see guys like Eddie, like Jericho, like myself, like Psychosis, Juventud, Conan, this whole group of wrestlers that at one point were stars in Mexico and now crossed the border and were making a huge impact on the wrestling world in the US, was very big. So I think over the years, now the pace is much faster. The moves are much bigger, and the bodies are not that big. They're smaller now. They're more fit. They're lean. They're cut. So we knew that this was eventually going to happen, and now we're living it.
When you were young and when your son was a child, did you ever expect to compete in the ring with him one day? And how did it make you feel?
So I didn't know my son wanted to wrestle until he was 19 years old. And when he started training and I saw that he had a spark and that he had a future in this business, the more he started to train and the faster he started to learn, then I remember talking about, wow, imagine being able to wrestle one day together. And then of course it came up to imagine if we had to wrestle against each other. So those 2 questions have crossed our minds many times, and we've talked about it, but we've never, we actually lived a moment right after his debut against Seth Rollins, where we wrestled together for the very first time. And it happened one time and it was so fast, but now it's all a matter of what happens when we face each other. So it's experience over youth. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting.
And what do you expect for Dominic's future?
Oh, I see a very bright future ahead of him. I see he has his head on straight on his shoulders, and he thinks the right way. Most importantly, in this industry, you have to respect what others have done and paved for you to eventually be there for. And it's what you're enjoying now. It's what many of us have sacrificed and have left for guys like my son. So I think he understands that very well. And I don't know if it's because he comes from the wrestling family that he sees the picture painted on the wall and he understands it very well, and he obeys. He obeys very, very well. So I think that's a very incredible start for him.
What was the most exciting moment or moments of your career?
Well, definitely Royal Rumble in 2006, because I knew that once I became the winner of that, there was something bigger that was coming. And, you know, it kind of cemented on people. Not only did Rey Mysterio win the Royal Rumble, but he has the highest lasting time inside a Royal Rumble match. So it's like that extra spark on top of it. Why did we go over an hour? You know, it's destiny. It's destiny, and that's what great ones do. You know, they make sure they don't only just leave their print behind the title that they're winning, but there's something that attaches onto it. And for me, it was winning the Rumble and having the highest time or the most time inside a Royal Rumble match, and then going on to WrestleMania and becoming world champion. You know, at my height, my weight, and my heritage being Latino, it was just incredible. Being a masked wrestler as well.
619 is one of the most iconic moves ever in the world of wrestling. How was it born?
How does it work, you said? Or
how was it born?
Oh, it was born from me being a kid and watching my favorite wrestlers do the move, their own version of it. They would just swing around the ropes. Tiger Mask from Japan, I would watch him do it. Super Astro from Mexico, a wrestler probably much smaller than me, but very stocky. He looked like Mighty Mouse, you know, and he would do that move constantly. So I started practicing that move at a very young age, 9, 10 years old. And I got so used to doing it that when I went to WWE, I just added a spice to it. And I ended up using it as my finishing move. I would put my wrestlers across the rope and then hit them with my feet. You know, something that when you're creative and you want to honor those that inspired you, these are the type of things that you do.
In luchadores culture, what does it mean and how important is it to wear the mask?
It's very important. Obviously, throughout the years, that tradition has changed a lot. And that's probably because of the newer generations. But I was always taught that if you were a masked wrestler, you protected your image and you protected the mask that you wore, and it was sacred. And nobody knew who you were except your family. Still to this day, I see people like Hijo del Santo, Mil Máscaras, that protect their image. You know, they're no longer that much active in the ring, but I see how they protect that mask, that trophy, that their face for others to see it. For me, it was different because there came a point in my career in WCW where I lost the mask and then I remasked myself. But now fans recognize Rey without the mask and Rey with the mask, but they've been very respectful when they see the Rey without the mask, and I appreciate that. So to be able to still carry this symbol, this iconic symbol that not only represents my legacy, my uncle, my beginnings in this industry, but that it also represents my culture, you know, and how a mask means everything, not only to us as wrestlers, but to the American culture, to the Mexican culture, to fans around the world. When they go to Mexico, tequila, sombreros, and masks and sarapes, you know, and so it's very iconic, and that's such a beautiful thing to you know, pull up at an airport in somewhere out in Mexico or at a port after getting off a cruise and seeing the little shops with the masks there. That's symbolic, very symbolic.
Here in Italy, you are an idol for wrestling fan, but also for Lazio football team fan. After the greetings last year with Milinkovic, a football player, how that exchange of greetings was born?
Say that again.
Last year, you have the greetings with a football player, a Lazio football player, Sergei Milinkovic. How that exchange of greetings was born?
I think that was through the company, through WWE, and I've always been a big football fanatic, and my dad too. I actually grew up watching football with my father, even though he likes the teams from Mexico, but he would always watch Spanish League, European League, and to be able to enjoy something with my father, like now I enjoy something with my son. For me, it was football with my dad. Now with my son, it's been wrestling, and to see athletes or to get to know athletes around the world from a sport that I grew up watching with my father has been incredible, amazing.
For Italian football, have you a favorite soccer football team or a favorite player? I don't know.
So I know maybe early 2000, maybe 2011, 2012, I went to Italy to meet players from Inter Milan. Yes, and I Icardi.
Yeah, yes, Icardi.
Yes. He was barely up and coming, and he was a huge wrestling fan. So I was very shocked, and now to see his success inside the field has been incredible.
For me, it's okay. Thank you for your time. I asked you just if you can say hello to the readers of Corriere dello Sport, the newspaper. Corriere dello Sport. Corriere dello Sport.
Un saludo muy grande a Corriere dello Sports. Hey guys, Corriere dello Sports, Rey Mysterio.
Thank you very much, Rey.
Thank you.